All right. What up? It is Saturday night. This is the Hi There Show. You are here with me, Nick Brunt, and I am joined by my co host, Ian Conrad. Your name is Ian. Did you really not? See, people might have been thinking that you were sneaking in here. Hey, wait. Excuse me, sir. Do you have your design license?
I didn't. I've been on mute this whole time. So,
Oh, really?
hi. My name is Ian, and I'm a UX designer. I am not an audio technician. We're good.
Hey, we got it working? Are we on the stream?
We're streaming.
Turns out that's the funny thing about streaming is that it almost never works. And
Yeah,
it's a series of interconnected pieces of software. I honestly would have thought that this was figured out in this year, our Lord 2021, but I suppose it isn't.
There's 100 things that can go wrong.
And only one thing that can go right.
And I have a microphone with a mute button on the front that's got a nice red light that tell me when it's muted, and that's my fault. That's user error. That's what we call in the business user error. And you know, when
safeguards were put,
when companies receive that kind of feedback, they're like, you know what? That guy's an idiot, and we don't care about him. But that's not the attitude you should have. Nobody's an idiot, and it's your job to make sure that people can't do stupid things with your product. Anyway.
That's most of what UX is all about. I actually maybe want to change my LinkedIn to description to I do my best to make sure that users don't do stupid things with your products.
That would attract my attention personally, Nick. If I was looking for a new hire, which everyone on LinkedIn kind of is, it seems.
It's a tough one. I think that everybody in our industry knows that as soon as you start tossing users at a product, they will break it. They will do the dumbest things with it. Inconceivably stupid things.
Things, yes.
And you gotta go.
Things you can't imagine. And then that's why you do it. That's why you do the testing. Because I tell people every time, it's like, you'll never imagine what people are going to do. We literally cannot fathom how people will get this wrong, but they will, and that's why we need to test it before we launch it.
They will every time.
Never fails.
All right.
What are we doing? We started making a website last time. Welcome back to anyone that saw us on Thursday evening and is here right now. Wow, that is pretty cool.
We are back with some award-winning preamble here as we get our file sorted out. What were we doing here?
Well, we're making a website for this show that we're doing, and we were trying to figure out, like, what the heck do we even put on this site? Because our main website kind of is YouTube. Our YouTube channel is sort of almost our home on the web, you know? But we're web designers, so we have to make a website.
I think I sort of see this website as like a catch drain for users who have gone astray from the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they search us on their favorite search engine.
On their favorite, they Bing us. They Ask Jeeves us.
Yeah. Jeeves. Jeeves needs to know about us.
How do you optimize for Jeeves? We really got to look into that and make sure that that's a big part of this.
All right, I'm gonna make a note of that. But yeah, what are we thinking, Nick?
I don't know. We've gathered here. We were so excited to stream that we got together. We've got a pretty normal looking website here, which is good. That's fine. We've got a player box here with our last episode. Man, that flex is so cool.
It's pretty nice. Is it the right shape? An aspect ratio?
Ish. It's a design. You hand wave that one off in a meeting. It's like, is that the right size? Nah, it will be by the time we get to the end of this project.
In the video world, they always say we'll fix it in post. So I guess for us, we'll fix it in dev.
We'll fix it in dev.
Everyone loves to hear that.
About that. I mean, what are we going to do? Like, cut this into HTML? I guess we could find a Squarespace template. That's probably less interesting. Let's just make it.
The thing with Squarespace is we have to pay like $10 a month, which is a great price if you have a website that is maybe like doing something for your business. We're not sponsored by Squarespace, so you know. But it is pretty good.
Could be.
But I don't want to pay.
I don't know. Brand ambassadors.
Yeah, we could. If Squarespace, if you're listening, we will get this up and running within minutes on your site if you give us money. But otherwise, you know, is it worth paying money to have this hosted somewhere? Or should we just try and cut it?
I think we should cut it.
I think we
Just
should.
like they used to do back in 2012 was you made a website with HTML. You fired up Notepad or your copy of Dreamweaver. I'm a front page guy myself.
Ooh, Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver.
Front page. I remember front page. Front page Express.
I remember
Very
front page.
simple.
I had my very first internet service provider, and God, this would have been like 1998 or 9. Gave you 5 megabytes of web hosting, and me as a young kid thought that was too cool, so I fired up my copy of Windows 95 front page and made my little website, and it was a good time.
Very nice.
And here I am years later telling that very cool story. All right, I've just broken up some of the vectors here in the background, and I'm moving them around to make sort of a full screen thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be one image. Like we can. This is within reason for us to do.
Well, here's what I'd like to do. Is maybe okay. So we've got this logo element in the middle. It will be a PNG. I guess no. Maybe we can do an SVG. We'll have to export it and see how big
That.
it
Yeah,
is.
that should be independent, right, of everything. My
Yeah, is we
HTML
can
brain.
separate that. Yeah, we put our HTML, our div brains on, our div cells. Is that this background piece in here is just sort of, that's the background. I can either make it go forever or scale, like just put in a huge one because it's not going to be that big anyway.
Or yeah, or we can repeat it in the CSS somehow. Although that might look
Yeah, that's
dumb.
true.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, this site right now is playing for 1440. 1440 is pretty wide.
It's fine now.
It's super wide enough. If your resolution is really huge, you'll live. You'll be fine. But we can repeat it. It'll be cool. I think graphically, like obviously we've got this sort of like old tattoo scattered image thing going on right now, and that's cool. In my experience with doing all the branding for Hi There up until this point, I've just been like, I draw these things and I drag them around forever until you compositionally are like, okay, that's cool and fine.
Okay. I like it. I mean, I'm digging it.
So we'll drag the elements out. We'll make that its own object.
I'll do a boring Figma thing and just make this thing resize itself with the box. So all I'm doing there is selecting this box and changing the resizing width to what's called fill container, which will make sure that this text box fills the container or the frame that it's inside of.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can go do. Oh, cool. It goes the wrong way. I drag it this way and it goes that way. That's not what I expected to happen.
No, isn't that natural flow?
Wait, this is really what I wanted. There we go.
Okay.
I get it. Because I was selecting the frame inside of it. So anyway. Yay.
I like it. It's like magic.
It's kind of like magic.
It's a little bit like magic. I you know, come on. I don't want to toot my own clarinet over here, but design's a little bit like magic. It's a lot of research and just a little bit of magic is what I always tell my clients.
Yeah, It's a little secret. A secret magic kind of floating around in there. We didn't do a whole...
Say, what is your proprietary design process that you use to make digital products successfully? And I look at them and I say, you know what? It's a little bit of magic.
It's just a little bit of magic. A little bit of strange magic, as
a little bit of strange magic and a lot of trust and friendship.
Mm-hmm. I like the friendship part. I've used the trust angle before, but friendship I think brings it to a new level.
Well, and when you say that, that's when you sort of like reach out and like across the boardroom table and get your hand on theirs, and you confer to them eye to eye, like, I'm here for friendship, not money. Oh, right, the mobile build. We had cool stuff last time where the responsive size was like very reactive to what I was doing on the main canvas, and that's pretty cool. I don't want to design it twice.
I mean, we could make this into a component, but oops, what did I do? I'm just seeing what's going to happen with this in mobile. Really, is just it'll stack.
I I wonder too. Um, I guess again we're doing the planing and the graphic design here at the same time, so bear with us. But is maybe breakpoint that image and drop the names?
Maybe. I don't know. We could load a different image in.
Hmm.
We could we could do that. We could have the background. We get this thing coming over here. 11 Pro Max. See, the cool thing about this frame is I can go doot. Look how nice that is. It resizes itself.
It's like a
And
regular text box.
I can even put it right up to the edges so that that's nice. And then I can add some padding inside. What kind of padding should we have? 20 pixels?
Um,
More?
Geez, how do I
More than
handle padding? Do you know what I usually do is I'll drag things until it feels right, and then I find the nearest like round value from there. So if the padding shakes out to be 37 pixels, I'm like, boom, it's 40. And that usually gets me there because I feel so bad handing a developer a value like 37 pixels
Yeah.
on a grid system. Round values kind of always equal the best outcome.
Well, this is 374 wide, so that's good. But that's the width of the device with 20 pixels on either side, so
XD uh, accepts decimal values for pixels, and it drives me insane. At
Sketch
no point will you ever need something that is 31.3 pixels tall.
well,
It doesn't translate.
30, can you literally have a pixel that's half a pixel? Like, isn't a pixel a physical thing on your monitor, or is it kind of beyond that now and we get into like retina displays and stuff?
I'm assuming it's beyond that when we get into retina displays, but I mean for your workaday designer, for everybody who's not, specializing in displays, that's not going to be a thing, I wouldn't think.
I was about to say Sketch does it too, but I'm noticing Figma also has decimals. Sometimes when a sizing thing is a decimal, it's really hard to make it go away too. Like annoying. Hello.
Well, yeah,
Oops.
you that was cool.
Oh, now I'm gonna anchor it at the top. So now when I move my stuff, it stays where it's supposed to. I'm
So,
just doing
and
this for
in
something to do, and to see
well, I
like
mean,
how it'll fit.
yo, or share it button.
Oh yeah.
Sharing it.
Nice.
And it's also under construction to let everyone know.
I remember websites used to say this website is always under construction, meaning that we're always
Yes.
working on it, always adding new content. Back when
Yeah.
back when websites weren't a thing that you put new content on like every day.
Mhm.
This website always under construction. I'm a lifelong learner. When they ask me if I'm a student at Sobeys, I'm always tempted to ask, I'm a lifelong learner. Does that count? But I know they'll say no. They're like, do you have a student ID?
Like, no, do you pay to learn? They're like, no, I don't even have a job. Um, we have to contend with the sort of responsive nature of this whole thing. Does this box go above or below the text? Like where it's an element to the right of the text right now. So I would imagine a lot of people listening are like pretty familiar with responsive design, unless you don't do much of it. In a responsive design scenario, as we can see, we have bounding boxes around all of these elements. Those are square elements, and that's what they get rendered in a website into. When we're working in a responsive environment, we're planning for things to stack and flex. So as we get down to a smaller screen size, without reprogramming the site, it's going to snap down until we have things in a nice tight column. Um, so that's great. You can program one layout that's going to work on all your different devices. However, there's technical hurdles like right now this box is to the right of this column on the left. Classically, that sort of makes it hard to stack on top of it in a way. I know there's
Hmm.
ways to do it. Front end developers are geniuses at that sort of
Yeah, we'll
thing.
have to figure that one out because yeah, the default is like left to right. So if we have things from side by side, yeah, like you said here, we've got some text and then a video. The default behavior for uh, when a screen gets small is that it goes left to right. So the text should actually be on top of the video. But I kind of think it makes more sense to have the video first.
Here's a UX question um, for you. Here's a whiz banger. Do we need a video box on the mobile version? Is that is that usable? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would
Do you want to
my
sit down and fire up a video from this website? I
my
guess
default is
maybe it's a
yes.
highlight reel.
I think yes. We could do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's I actually read some research today that about mobile viewing of video. It might have been YouTube specifically, I forget. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, I don't think it was though, but a lot of people that are viewing videos on their phone, a big chunk of that is people at home, like relaxing kind of at night and just like watching something on their phone. So my instinct is to say yes. I think it should be there.
There's typically when I talk about it,
I don't know why
I
that's.
guess not just with clients, but there's this sense that the mobile web is like an on the go thing. Like, are people going to watch videos on the subway? And it's like, I don't think that we necessarily need to look at the mobile web or the app space like that anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, when I sit on my couch at night, I'm holding a phone, to dig through the internet.
Yeah, and you're not alone. Mobile and this whole thing about mobile means on the go is just simply not true. That hasn't been true for quite a long time. So,
I don't
yeah,
think so. Yeah.
it's mobile. It's just a smaller computer. Like I almost don't even like calling it mobile. Sometimes when I get real snobby, I'll call it small screen instead of mobile
Okay.
because mobile kind of means like mobile, like moving around, doesn't it? So it's like it's not even mobile. It's just a it's or yeah, it's just a small screen. Small screen devices. Pocket computer. Why is that stupid play button down here? Something's not right with this. What is this thing? Where is the original? Where is the component?
This
Is this
one.
it? I did something wrong with it somehow.
How do I edit master in Figma? I already know really
Um,
well. I'm just testing you.
this one is the main component. So you just edit it. If it's an instance, you can right click and there'll be a thing that says like go to main component or something. They changed it from master to main kind of quietly, which is good.
Oh, main component, go to main component. Push overrides to main component. That is super handy, and XD doesn't do that at all.
Hmm.
You just have to go back and edit that.
Yes, I noticed that today because I tried to do that exact thing. I realized I was editing an instance and I was like, oh, this is actually what I want on the main um, component. But I had to go and change it myself. I'm zooming in.
So
I
on
somehow
that,
broke
changing it
this.
from master to main, I think I'm kind of on board with that.
It makes sense.
That like master slave terminology that computers have used for a long time, and I don't really know why, but it just has like creepy vibes to it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm glad they just kind of did it without asking people or something. You know what I mean? Like kind of making a do of it. And
PCs used to be
trying
full
to
of
get like
weird terms.
yeah, they did.
We're,
All of a
we're,
sudden, I just noticed it one day, and I was like, "Oh, hey!" Message my coworkers. They just kind of did this, and I went to check their Twitter to see if they mentioned it, and I don't know. It was just they just did it. I moved on. I
it's
can't,
actually not a bad idea to make the
I'm
change.
probably stereotyping people here, but I kind of feel like maybe the echo chamber I'm in inside the design community anyway, like wouldn't like I feel like that would go over unanimously quite well.
I think if you're the type of user who gets fussy about a name like that changing, it's so arbitrary that you're probably the issue. you remember Scuzzy ports?
Scuzzy. That's a pretty
That
funny
was,
name. Oh, maybe this
I
because this
think,
isn't an auto layout. Oh God, I just broke everything.
I think that was old printer ports were called Scuzzy ports, and they were like these like 75 pin like monster
Yeah.
outlets. Like you could plug a stove into it if you wanted to.
It was, yeah, it
It
was
was
some kind of
great.
special thing. And then there was like it was in Reboot too. I think like
Yeah,
one of their pets was
Scuzzy.
Scuzzy or something.
Oh my gosh. What was her name? The main villain. There was Megabyte, and then there
Uh,
was
oh, Hexadecimal.
Hexadecimal. Yeah, I think Scuzzy was her
Her pet
like little pet
dog
thing.
thing or cat.
And then Hack and Slash. And then Megabyte halfway through the show turned into Gigabyte.
I don't remember like all that stuff happening.
Oh, it went on for a long time, and the story got really heavy and like involved themes of romance and stuff that was like it was great when you were 12 or 13. I can edit pictures in here. Saturation, contrast, exposure. Cool. I'd never want to edit a photo in a layout program, but that's fun that you can do that.
Neat. Oops. I just
Neat. Touch up your stock photos.
get this share button out of her.
So, okay, I've just been kind of like massaging this background. I know we're going to take this as a second piece. Maybe we can do like a little drop fade or something. Like whoosh. Like whoosh. You know what I mean? I like to use my hands in meetings. I'm like, it needs to come in to the frame, and everybody nods.
Needs to come into the frame.
So
Man, I'm really.
this image will start about 50 pixels higher and then drop 50 pixels like as a CSS3 transition and fade in. Just a nice little touch.
Oof, what did I just do? I'm breaking everything because that's how I like to roll. Don't worry, it'll all make sense.
Might cite a little offshoot over here.
Just completely.
I want to cool up our logo a little bit. What was it? Cool 3D?
Cool 3D.
I know there's cool
There was
3D
Zara
World.
3D.
I want to make our logo 3D. Oh yeah, that service actually does like a half good job of it. Burning text generator.
All right. We've got our stupid video player component back. After I broke it. Width 16 by 9. That's not right. That's not right either. My God. See? That's how it really works, folks. There, that's a 16 by 9. Vadio.
I think we should cut it. We don't need a video. Are we even doing video anymore? I thought we were just going to do it like tonight.
Yeah, let's just write a blog.
We could write a blog. I thought we could be a band, maybe. Might be fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't really care what we do.
Right? I just want to get eyes on me, is my
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Band would be, yeah, because musicians are way more famous than like designers.
Yeah, way more famous, way more like accessible.
Wait,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
make a
probably
lot more
just good
money.
UX. They definitely all make way more money. I can profess to that.
Oh, and the other thing, so you can push the overrides to a main component, but you can also, I think, reset your overrides. Yes. Boom. There. Reset the overrides to that. Snap that to this width. Something like that. Look, it's almost the same height. There we
It's
go.
pretty cool.
Did you get that from 3D Land?
Are you zoomed on my screen? Can you see what
Yeah.
I'm doing? I'm kind of going a different direction here, I feel like.
We could make like a couple different sites.
We could A/B. Oh man, dude. Okay, so we've got a proper site on the right. We have cool guy site on the left. We should A/B test them and see which one's more successful.
I would anything that's on this site, I would click.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
totally. We can get like a mid going in the background, like a MIDI.
Most browsers I don't think will play MIDIs anymore because my website has a MIDI. It just downloads it. Very, very
No, they
disappointing.
don't. So by default, I think particularly if you don't have GarageBand installed on OS X, you don't really have any MIDI sequencing software inherent on your machine. So if you just take like any old MIDI and open it up with QuickTime Player, like by default on OS X, it will play it in like the default piano tone.
Right.
Do you know what it? And it doesn't have any of the accents or spacing in it, so you can take any song and listen to it, and it sounds so broken. For anyone who doesn't know, MIDI files is an old music format that sort of stored music in data, like on like synthesizers. Essentially, it stored like synthesizer information and made like these really sort of brutal elevator music
Me and my
versions of
friend used to
songs.
download MIDIs when we had like dial-up modems. We would download MIDIs to like listen to music.
That's cool.
I distinctly remember being like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." Because there was no other way to get music
There
30
really
years ago.
wasn't. You could tape the radio.
Yeah.
That was basically it, or like VHS tape Much Music. It was pretty good. Oh man. I
So
remember what the first MP3 I ever downloaded was. Are you
what
there?
was it?
Oh. It was
What
it
was it,
was
Nick?
what was it? It was now the story's not gonna be very good. It was Baby Don't Hurt Me by Hadaway.
Nice. What is love?
Yeah, what is love? That's what it was.
Don't,
And I got it from
yeah,
like mp3galaxy.net.
I almost whistled it, but that'll get us copyright claimed on YouTube.
That's true. I'm glad I messed up the name.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, if yeah, you don't want to mess with record labels on YouTube. They've got people that are, or they don't have people, but they're like freelance type people that just trawl YouTube for any type of like potential copyright claim and just claim it for them.
That makes sense. I'll do that for BMG Music or something. Rat on people. Rat on you for all your illegal music uploads.
That's probably too much. Dun, dun,
I
dun,
think
dun.
you're allowed to use 10 seconds. Like you can use 10 seconds.
Not of
Um,
music on YouTube.
really?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal from what I
I heard
gathered.
that podcasters who were signed deals with Spotify were allowed to use music from the Spotify catalog.
Ooh,
And I feel like that's pretty great.
that is cool. It would be awesome to have real like good music like on our show.
Any song.
I could put some background music in this.
I'd probably get like some Dolphins Cry by Live,
Live, yeah, maybe
you
some
know, really
POD.
sort of like, oh, POD, totally. Papa Roach. Like get that pumping, get the audience like really pumping before we start doing this design stuff, and they're just going to be like, feeling those good POD vibes. Who I'm told is a Christian band.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, interesting. I kind of remember something about that too. What
I
should,
mean
all
that's
right,
just good. That's just good marketing in certain parts of the world.
what are we doing? This looks like my personal website.
The one I'm doing.
Yeah, kind of.
Did you really make a site like this for yourself? That's awesome.
Drop into the zone.
Drop into the
What else
zone.
do we need?
I mean, I don't know, man. Nothing really. This is actually a good project to start with because it is fairly simple. This is good for what we need right now. Um, I think that we could make it more stylish if we really wanted to. We need some sort of like copyright line. Like let's put
Right. We need something. Do we
some
want
sort
to
of legal text, which
say a
I never know what
template?
it is. It's just always lipsum.
Woo.
And sometimes right before a site goes live, this doesn't happen so much anymore, but it used to. But right before a site would go live, you'd be like, "Damn, hold on, have you guys taken a look at this legal text? Do you have a lawyer?"
Yeah, what?
I would think it would be implied. Like if you didn't, I know you have to keep safe or whatever, but if you were not a corporation or you didn't have trademarked or copywritten property, like you didn't own it, it's pretty well implied that you made this website and it's yours.
Yeah, that's
it,
fair.
it, it's not like putting it's at the end of the day it's about protecting your copyright, but like that C doesn't mean that you're bulletproof or vice versa.
Hmm.
I don't know what it costs in Canada. I want to copyright something,
Well, I
maybe like a
think
turn of
it's
phrase.
trademarks are the ones you have to pay for, isn't it? Like, because copyright is inherent. Yeah, like you said, like if you make something, you have the copyright of that.
In
You
either
own it.
case though, you still have to register it. Like you still have to register a trademark or register a copyright.
Yeah,
And
right.
I actually think that trademarks might be like a North American thing that extends to both countries, but I have no idea. What's the body copy we're using here? I bet you it's Nunito Sans. It
You
is.
came up with it.
So yeah, it's a really nice serif from Google. You'll see it everywhere. Nunito and Roboto and a couple other sans serifs from Google fonts. They've become secretly ubiquitous because Google fonts are free, and that's really great.
Google wants your website to have nice fonts.
It's oh man, they don't have really nice font. If you want really nice fonts, go pay for them. Like find nice type boundaries. Adobe Typekit is really great, but lacking in some cool stuff. But I mean, if you really care about a project and you really believe in the art direction, just talk somebody into giving you money for that font.
It could be expensive to license fonts for the web too.
Yeah, that was my next point. So um, a lot of typography that you see around now that's like designed either by independent designers or smaller type foundries out there, they're usually a really reasonable price and they're totally worth supporting. But one example I ran into once was Avenir. Avenir's been around for a long time. It's a very famous font. I believe it's owned by Linotype. To buy it and license it, in the case that I was looking at, was going to be like $14,000
Ooh.
is how it all shook out. And I mean, I had to go back to the client and be like, is this worth $14,000 to you? Because it was a brand font. Or do we just approximate it because that's fine? Anyway, we ended up approximating.
That's fair. We
That is so fair.
we kind of I w- I was at a place one time that never really thought about that. And then at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, if you, yeah, this is going to cost like 3 grand to use this font, or we have to change everything. So they paid for it.
I've never run afoul of fonts and I don't want to. I can't imagine launching something for a client. Young designers out there, imagine launching something for a client and then a year later they email you and they're like, this type foundry just sent us a cease and desist or they're going to sue us because a million people saw their font and you didn't pay for that. I can't imagine the horror. Oh my God. Toe carrots back there. What up, toe carrots? All right,
Ooh,
let's
toe
turn this
carrot.
down a little
Or
bit.
what's the
Let's bring toe carrot
accessibility
back into
stuff
sight.
too? Like you can get in major trouble for that now, especially in
Uh,
America.
yeah.
I'm surprised that like the American government cares about that. Maybe I'm quite jaded, as we all probably are at this point. But like the last, and this isn't brand new, but the last thing I heard about was Rihanna's website, I think, or somebody, Beyonce, someone big, got fined because their website wasn't accessible, didn't meet the accessibility requirements.
So is this maybe the new wheelchair ramp thing where people drive around the city looking for buildings without wheelchair ramps and then they go and fall down?
It could be. I
Not
mean,
not
well,
that I'm sorry, I don't mean to suggest that that's a widespread problem, but it's one of those legal, like, I'm gonna sue anybody who runs afoul scams.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
I
if
don't know
you
how
could
it
create
works.
damages.
Yeah,
I've
like
worked
I don't know
on
if you get
learning
money.
software before. I've worked on learning software before where um, people being able to participate successfully in the course was part of their job, and they could get in trouble if they didn't do it. So all of a sudden, accessibility became a huge issue because it's like, no, legally, these people need to be able to participate in that. And it happened to be a pretty huge user base. So what do you do about that? Um, I don't know. You work with accessibility experts. Admit that you don't know everything about accessibility and work with somebody who does.
Yeah, that's a great vertical. There's companies that do that exclusively, and there's some that look like they're pretty legit.
I had a great font the other, or great font. I'll just call it a font. Um, I had a great chat the other day about a font meant for people living with dyslexia.
Okay.
And what it was the font. The Normally with the font, all of the pieces of the font are very consistent. So the stems and the ascenders and the descenders and the balls and all those component shapes that go to make a Y or an X or an A with a stem on it or whatever. Um, those are all built to be consistent across these invisible bounding boxes, and that's meant so that people have an easier time reading it. There's just a lot of like symmetry and balance there. In this dyslexic font, or a font meant for people with dyslexia, that all of the letters were sort of like didn't conform to regular shapes, and they all had warbles in them, and it was meant to fight against that. Like there's no symmetry and there's no consistency, and so that's, in research it's been found that people have an easier time reading it because the letters are all differentiated from each other. I i've worked on accessibility measures, not extensively, but it's like obviously it's a part of our job. I've never even brought up the term dyslexia before.
Hmm.
And I bet you
I
there's a lot of people that would really benefit from, say, a toggle that lets them, um, change the typeface, or if the website worked with their screen reader in a way where that font swapped out because you considered it. It seemed like a big one to me.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. We did a pretty big like accessibility exercise on the product we're building as well. Um, and that never came up. But it's interesting that like I guess when accessibility comes up, the first thing that goes to my mind is like screen reader and people that can't see well enough to use a
Mm-hmm.
computer, so they have to like kind of use a keyboard and rely on like audio cues from the software that they use. But there's so many more things like dyslexia. One of them was even like, or like say, you only have one arm, for example, and it might not even be that you're an amputee. It's like you're holding a baby in your hands, is what was one of our my colleagues gave an example. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's like
Mm-hmm.
tools that make it easier to like use your site in a bunch of different ways that probably a lot of different people can benefit from in different ways.
A tremendous amount of people. Um, Colorblind is a big one.
That is, we went kind of extreme with the colorblind um, stuff. I think we took on like a challenge and went like WCAG 3.0, which is I think probably really extreme. We ended
Mm-hmm.
up with like some colors that it almost was like there's like 7 colors like you're allowed to use. It was, I think it was a bit much, but yeah, and then the software, it was an interesting side of things too. Actually
I think
experiencing that.
that's I think that's I when I think about designing for accessibility, that's my most important job is making sure that the software that people who need it are using is working for them.
Yeah, and then like yeah, that's so, and that's another, that's like that's an interesting piece altogether. Like seeing that I had never actually used that kind of screen reading software before up until recently. I understood it, but actually like experiencing it was a whole different ball game.
I knew someone with a vision impairment once that used a screen reader, and it was the neatest thing I ever saw because what it did was read like chirps of letters, like chirps and intonations of words, so like parts of it, like very quickly. And this person, she was so used to listening to it that she could totally interpret everything that it was saying. It was very cool. And me, I just have to use the internet with my face. Copyright us. Who
I don't
else?
know. My thoughts are my own. Lol.
That's legal text. I love how we were going to finish up this site and we got into an interesting discussion about accessibility and didn't make the site.
Or as they say now, inclusive design.
Okay, I dig that.
It's more
So
inclusive,
I suppose,
like
but
quite
like
literally.
I guess when I think of I think of inclusivity as, oh man, never mind. I'm not even gonna touch that.
No, don't.
It's all very good. I want as many people as I can to be able to comfortably use the stuff that you make, right? That's the most important part.
This picture is great. This little snow globey type thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Someone made that, and I envy them.
I
This might be
legit,
cool art again in 5 years, by the way.
man, I think we're there. We're
If you
there
could
already.
render that really well, like in pixel art right now or in Photoshop, and then printed it, I'd buy it. I'd hang it in my site. Hang it in my site. I'd hang it in my home.
Hang in my site. You know what? When you said that, I didn't even flinch.
No,
I
it's
was
like
like, yeah, you'll hang it in your site. Of course you
all
will.
just a site.
The site where you live. Your life site.
It is my life site.
What's the address to your life site? It's in numbers and words. It's like, oh, how do I go there? Oh, you put it in a maps app. Okay.
Oh, me, I'm 12.38.06.1, port 333. Hit me up, baby. Cool. That's a website, y'all. How can we make it cooler now?
I mean, it kind of is, right?
Now, I do have the fonts that um, I made the graphics with.
Ooh, those are fun.
I I don't think that that's going to translate to web. We could do a graphic and some sort of fallback. I doubt it's worth it.
Yeah, probably not. Why wouldn't that work
Probably
though?
not. It's actually, you know what? I don't even like the font a ton, but for my purposes, like I was able to edit it to kind of get it where I wanted it to be. That was M plus. That's a rounded font. It doesn't look very rounded when it's that bold. That's maybe better. I don't think I have an italic.
We're
Wait.
observing Nick here, folks, as you can see in Figma. A very cool feature is I can click on anybody's profile picture at the top of the screen and watch them work.
I feel like I gotta work now. I'm like
It's
clicking
great for
around.
when you're working with like some colleagues and then you're like, come check me out in whatever file, and then they open that file up and they can like click your name and then they zoom right down to you. And it's like, hey, check me out.
That's cool. That's cool. Also, like a little terror inducing, but I'm getting used to it now that we are doing much more of it.
Yeah, and I'm like, what can people tell? Like, people can tell like if I'm not working. Like if I get up for a minute and my mouse goes idle for 2 minutes, it's like, is someone like watching? Is someone wondering like, oh, I can tell Ian's not at his computer.
Totally, yeah. And then they talk about it with other people, and then the company turns against you, and you get, that like that you're that guy. It's like, oh, yeah, he never works,
Oh,
which I've been saying for years.
there's no way he's working. I mean, he's never designed anything.
I'm gonna try and get that graphic that I've selected there right now without that big wave in it. I think I might have it.
Stretch it out.
Stretch it way out. That almost might be cooler.
I wish I knew how to code all this stuff. I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Look at that. That's almost cool.
It's almost cool. It'd be neat. I wish there was like a way where we could let people almost like let anybody edit our CSS, but the HTML would stay the same. So you couldn't change the words on our site. I mean, I'm sure you could hack it with CSS, but people could move our site around, but all the content would have to stay the same. Like the
So
CSS Zen Garden.
I saw a site that did that once that used like a Wikipedia backend to give anybody user access. So like everything beyond the initial title of the site, and like a mission statement, all of the content was completely editable by everybody, and it was very funny.
This this graphic reminds me of Zara 3D, which is what I used to use.
I'm getting some terrible lag, by the way, in case I'm not.
No, no
I
one
used to use
notices.
Cool 3D.
Can you hear my cat meowing in the background?
Yeah, I thought that was your computer making noises.
Come here.
Have
Wanna
you
be
seen the
on
clips
TV?
recently of the acapella band making Windows noises?
Nope. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty great. They do a very good job. And so anyway, I'm quitting design because I really want to get on this like acapella computer noise tip. Oh, I do have that thing as a normal graphics. That's pretty cool. Get that in there. All right. Figma.
Mother friggin' Figma. Ooh, I just got this from my
Yeah, that's
website.
better.
Fragmoo.
Oh, cool. So people can send us emails.
Yeah.
So what is in the current time, what is the solution for dealing with text that you want to use a graphic for?
With like on the web? Ah,
Yeah,
man.
because over time there's been all kinds of solutions for
I
that.
know. The last I checked,
Because this is what I would call like where.
yeah, the last I checked was use a background image, I think, and then write actual text, like make it a heading tag
Like
and then use
display none
actual
the
text, but
text
then
over
yeah,
top
like
of
hide
it.
but then you're hiding the text. So you basically type real text and then you have this as like as a
Yeah,
background image
display
for it.
none.
And then you would actually give it like a, I think you would give it like an absolute position or something and then position it like -9999 off the page so that you couldn't see it, but it was
Yeah.
still there. Which and the thing about like stuff like that is it was always like for SEO and search engine optimization, the reason you would do it is like, yeah, so search engines and stuff could read it, but then you're also like, if you try and do like tricks where you're trying to hide text and stuff, like you would get in trouble for that.
Mhm.
So it was always like, are you sure this works
Well, you would get
without getting in trouble?
blacklisted. You get blacklisted on Google, and that'd be it.
Yeah, because like the old tactics for search engines is you just like put a bunch of words at the bottom of your site and then like make them the same color as your background. And then the search engines would like, oh, pick up all those keywords, but you
Yes,
couldn't actually
keyword
see
stuffing,
anything.
and it would say, all kinds of bad things like wares, free ware, day one, day zero wares downloads.
Yeah, all that
That's an old
junk.
internet piracy
0 day.
joke. 0 day. Now I work for a tech firm, and they buy all my software, and that gets me by.
Someone's paying for it.
Someone's paying for it.
All right.
That's the
Well,
motto here at Hi There.
I think I might need a 2-minute break here, Nick.
Okay. Do you want to throw to the screen? I don't know what we're
Let's-
gonna do next. Maybe we talk about cutting this thing out.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Hey, do you know what we can do when we get back? I wanna. Yeah. Okay.
All right. All right, folks, back in
We'll cut to break. I'm
2
getting
to 3
lagged
minutes.
out of this universe. All right, we're back. Is the stream working? Man, streams are hard to run. I see that ninja kid up there streaming. He makes it look like it's real easy. Maybe we should play Fortnite. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Those like those like impossible to learn board games that are so fun, and so you bring them home for Christmas, excited for your family to get in on them, and you spend the entire night explaining the rules. Code words. Code words is pretty good. I want to get into some Gloomhaven. I have a 7-year-old about to be 8-year-old, and he's way too young to learn these games, but I'm gonna foist them on him until he gets it. Gloomhaven, it's like a I don't like a fantasy RPG tabletop game with 8 trillion pieces, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. Is my camera shaking? Maybe that's just me. I get Saturday vibes. Okay, so I mean that's yeah, this one's at 640 right now. I'm using Epoch Cam in my iPhone 12. It's not bad. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of beauty filters on right now. I'm more of like a, what are they called? The 3D characters that are streaming now that are also people that they're like mo-capping live. VTubers. I feel like I've got so many of these filters on right now. I'm more of a VTuber. I have seen Code Miko, and it's I think it's kind of genius. I mean, I read the premise was like she's a buggy video game character that interviews people in the game space, and I just think that's hilarious. Yeah, it's she. I believe that her background is in like not Unity, Unreal, like 3D, modeling and programming. That's really cool. I also heard you can pay to kill her. Like you can like pay a certain amount of money, and her character will go into a death animation like out of nowhere in the middle of an interview, and that's pretty hilarious. Like a footer component. That's pretty cool. Well, it used to not matter. You just made 1,000 templates, and if there was a change, you just changed 1,000 templates. But you kind of want to avoid that, especially nowadays in the new era of UX, because I make more templates to get through a site design than ever before. I wouldn't even call them templates. It's more like views. That's your problem. That's your problem, buddy. I don't know. I ruined it. Mm. Hmm. 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 Yeah, you can get burned on it, especially on something really big that goes on for a long time. Like you have to go back and be able to change things. So you call that a design system, would you? I've heard a few different terms floating around for it. Hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of people like, not a lot of people, but I think when you're approaching a product that is maybe like a little more typical, like that doesn't seem necessary. But I think we're talking like in the world of UX where your designs are getting iterated constantly. There's a lot of different voices in the room. It's about the exercise that you're partaking in is about sort of iteration. Um, then it really matters because it's not like you're taking JPEGs to a client and saying like approve these, great, okay, we're going to go make your website. It's a really involved process that you're constantly changing things.
I've been on mute since we came back from break. That's cool.
Really? How many minutes is
Nice.
that?
Um, I don't know. 15?
Cool.
Lame. It's funny too because it's a big red button on my microphone, but the microphone's
It,
so close to me I can't see the color. I can't see the light.
yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, look, we are speaking on UX design. We are in early iterations of a show that we're probably going to be doing for a long time. So I'm kind of happy to mess with all our equipment. It's
Yeah,
all
it's good
brand
to
new to us.
screw it up now. That well, I can probably reiterate some of my comments on
Yeah,
the
tell us
design
all those
system in
tell
the
tell us all those really definitive sort of industry groundbreaking opinions that we just both had.
well, I'll how about I continue the conversation into a new territory. You must have heard of technical debt, right?
Yeah, paying your tech debt. You
Tech
gotta, if you
debt.
don't update your stuff, you're gonna pay more to update it later because it will get updated.
Yeah, so technical debt is a term that developers use. I hope I'm getting this right. Is that when you kind of like take a little bit of a shortcut maybe in hope and into trying to get something done a little bit quicker. Um, and then down the road you realize, man, I wish I would have kind of done this differently so that it could be more easily updated because now I have to go and do more work because I didn't do the work earlier. I think I've I think that's sort of it, right? I get the same thing happening with design, and we call it the UX debt, which is like I'm working on something, I've got to create a new feature or a story or what have you, and I'm always like, should I actually do this properly? Where I go and I create a new component in our design system, I make it like flexible and everything. I update what we previously had with this new component, or do I just kind of jam it together and just get it out the door and then it's done? But then uh, the risk of that is that um, if you do have to come back to that design later, or you do make a bunch of say like copies of it to do those different views or states that you were talking about, then
Mm-hmm.
you either have to if you don't have your components set up properly, you either have to you make all these different variations of something and then you have to go back and manually update everything on each design separately, or you have to go and like actually create your components properly and then go and redo all of your different views and states that you just kind of created. It's it's one of those things that I still kind of I still debate every single time. You know what I mean? It's like, should I actually do this the proper way, or should I just kind of like rip it out real quick, and
And
you
like,
know, you learn a bit. Like it's like, you know what, I should do this properly because I know in the future this is going to come back to bite me. Versus, you know, I don't have time and it doesn't matter. But you kind of learn a little bit, but at the end, it's yeah, you never really
you
know.
get cognizant like what you can do with a certain budget. Like you're not going to make like a really intricate design system for your Airbnb website down the street because it's got 8 panels and a few different views, and it is work. I did something. I did something that was very multi-platform over the last like couple years. um, Lots of different device types. So different development teams, different sets of designs, sort of unified by a series of documents that were also existed, UX documents that existed for each platform. And like changing one thing on this file um, meant communication across a number of different files and then communication across a number of different teams. Like to change the words from this to that all of a sudden became like a multi-meeting thing that involved like 12 or 15 different people.
Hmm.
At that point, I think in your UX career, you're going like, no, I need better files. I need to have rock solid files. You can have good files, man. Don't hand off
Gotta
your
have good
files with a
files.
1,000 layers all named like layer 1, 2, 3, copy, because the person on the other end of that will curse you. And eventually you'll have so many curses against you that you'll shrivel up and blow away. And that's how web design works.
Yeah, this isn't, it's not just like, oh, you know, whatever. Like it's connected to the greater world where if people curse your design practices because
Mm.
they're poor, it will
Mm-hmm.
affect you. You know, if you're
Yeah.
turning in from again from last time, you know, we talked about the monkey's paw,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like one of those like a wish thing that goes bad. It's similar idea. You keep
I
cursing.
remember that last day of design school, I was walking out and I looked at my teacher and I said, what if I get it wrong? And he said, well, everybody gets 5. And I didn't know what he meant, but I think I do now.
Yeah, you're up to 4, maybe 5. Like I don't know. You got to be careful.
That's a designer thing, is looking back at all the work you've ever done and with the knowledge that you have now, is a tough one. All right, that's a website.
Our
No, that's a
stream is
website.
our
Do you
stream is
think that this
healthy
is
according
our
to
stream
YouTube.
healthy?
Just as a an
A
aside
little
here.
aside here. Well, I mean, the YouTube Studio stuff is really neat. It gives you deeper analytics than I would have thought about what people are doing with your video, which is pretty fun. So,
Wish I
I mean, if
kept
someone were to watch our video, we know exactly who they are and where they live and what they do, and I see that as a benefit.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I've been messing with trying to pull audio into my mic feed here. So in loopback, let's part the curtain here for a little bit.
Let's get a
In
soundboard
loopback,
going.
in your mic setup, yeah, I definitely want a soundboard going. We need some like Jamaican dance hall horns.
Yes, that's the mhm.
We need like the football announcer going, he's going all the way, and then like sort of some wrestling announcers. Anyway, we're
Yes.
gonna pepper those through the stream. But in loopback, what is pass through? Do I go from pass through to software to channel to what?
I don't know if loopback I don't know what pass through is. You almost they have it, those people have another app that it might be what you want. It's called something else. Where it's like it can take audio from one thing and put it into another thing.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I was gonna try and
Did you
play
hear
some
that like
sound.
screaming noise that my computer just produced?
Kind of, but
I tried to pipe my snowball into loopback and my computer just it made like the sound of hell.
it's like, no, you're not allowed.
Oh my god.
iMovie has a bunch of
Okay.
cool sound effects.
Cool.
Like,
Get in on those. What I wanted to do is pop open GarageBand and work on a musical stinger while we're here, because as our viewers know on YouTube, when you clip things out, you gotta have some sort of bumper on the front of it. So I feel like we need a little like musical sting, a little 4-note like logo, blah. And I wanted to play with that, but I don't know if I'm gonna get them to work. Left, right, left.
There's no way anybody heard that. What I just played.
Heard what?
I've got some cool sounds in iMovie, but we can't. I don't know how to make them come out of the thing.
I'm gonna change over my mic feed here, and stream. I'm gonna hope that we don't break the entire stream with this. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better? You can't hear me at all, eh? Yeah, well, that's not going to work, I guess.
I think I could hear you. It seemed a little quiet though.
It's like I could hear you, but only in my mind. It was weird.
Yeah, it's the same way that I hear you when I'm like lying in bed at night and I can't fall asleep and I can hear you. It was like that.
It's me singing Mr. Sandman. I'm every vocal part in that Mr. Sandman song.
Ooh. Hey, you mean that Metallica song, Mr. Sandman?
Love that. I love that Metallica song, Hey Mr. Sandman.
Hey, Mr. Sandman. Do you like to rock and roll? All right, what do we have left to do here? For realsies. Is there anyone watching that has any feedback? Please put it in the chat.
I would love to have an active chat because I want to hear what people. I want to hear their design directions. I want all
I want to hear like the great idea.
Art.
Yeah, like I want to hear the general public's great ideas.
I think this has been a fun experiment too, obviously, because we're just designing our stuff. I can't wait to design stuff for other people or funny things.
Yeah, I want to be like. I like coming into it not knowing what we're doing, like it's a real challenge. And it probably would have been really scary in our younger years, but now I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a fun challenge. Like it's not improv, but we didn't really plan anything.
Well, I think when you're 25 and working in design, you're sort of making it up as you go. And then over time, all of a sudden you're that person with more answers than you are questions, and you can kind of contribute. And I love doing this. I mean, design used to be a really sort of not secretive thing, but designers are really sort of like, they keep it close to their chest. Like, I want to go do my creative work and I'm going to be back and then we'll talk about it. I just want to do it in front of people because it's interesting. It's fun. All right, website designed.
Very cool.
I love it. So I'm trying to determine right now, is the YouTube player 16:9 plus UI, or does the UI fold into that 16:9?
It has to be. The video itself has to be 16:9 and the stuff the stuff below it has to be separate. Like the player buttons. Definitely.
The other concern I have, this is a niggly bit, speaking about art direction, our thumbnails for the show look a lot like this website.
That's true.
And is that we're going to have something that looks like this.
I know exactly what you're going to do, Nick.
Yeah, I'm trying to paste it.
Do it anyway.
Figma.
My internet just went bloopy for a millisecond, but I think we're good. Excellent connection according to YouTube, and YouTube's owned by Google, and Google knows everything, so I think we must be probably pretty good.
Does Google know everything anymore?
I don't know. They
I
don't
felt
want
like
to
they were
know.
gonna. I felt like those crazy guys over at Alphabet were gonna do some cool things.
They have those robots
Um,
that are like little dogs. Those are pretty cool.
wait,
No one's
Google
no one's
owns those?
scared of those. Yeah, Boston Dynamics, Alphabet owns those cool
I
robots that
I
aren't
thought that
soldiers.
no, I DARPA owns Boston Dynamics.
Maybe Google kind of distanced themselves from it because it was too creepy for their brand. I swear they were
Boston
somehow.
Dynamics is owned. No shit. Check this out. Boston Dynamics is owned by the Hyundai Motor Group.
What?
Is best known for yeah, Hyundai. Really? I don't know if there's nicer Hyundais in different parts of the world, but it's not exactly what I think of forward-thinking tech. That's pretty cool. What do they have to do with DARPA?
I'm nervous
The
that they're
company,
gonna.
the company was acquired by Google X. Holy shit! I want to work for Google X. That's where the dark arts of data manipulation
Yeah,
happen in the
fucking
basement.
Google like horror movie.
Yes, that's where they've got people like fucking clockwork oranging at a screen of just numbers,
Hmm.
people's health records.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Love it. I gotta be cognizant. Sometimes I break out into a browser while we're talking about these things, and
Well,
then
we're
I leave
getting
the
that
camera.
stuff set up.
We are getting that stuff set up. Different views.
Like
I think it would be
I can bring
fun.
us over into the browser right now. Look, we're looking
I
at
mean, if
Boston
you want, do you
Dynamics.
have? Okay, cool. We got it working.
Wikipedia.
I feel like we need to be able to do that stuff, or even
We need to
like you want
both
to
be
break
able.
out into a piece of software, or we're building a component. Like I'm gonna go build an icon in Illustrator. It would be cool if we could just shoot to that.
Oh yeah, I guess Hyundai bought them. Yeah, because Google had them for a while, and then I think people were like, I think because like those robots were so scary, Google didn't want to be associated with them.
That
I
makes
feel
sense.
like that's like somehow somewhat true. All right, we're back to the design.
Those those robots are deeply upsetting. Every time I see
Yeah.
those robot dogs, I all I can picture is like 300 of them cresting a hill, and you're
Oh
thinking, "Oh
man.
my god, the army is coming," and it's just these robot dogs.
That's exactly it. Cresting. That's the word too.
Yeah, cresting the hill, and the whirring noise of hundreds of mechanical dog joints as they run down the hill toward you. Like, no thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
breaking
most
everything.
people kind of unanimously had that notion. We get like micro disconnected a couple of times per stream, and it seems to not disrupt anything except my cursor gets a new color. I actually like this yellow cursor.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I was wondering about
You
that.
can really see
You
it.
were teal a minute ago.
I was teal and then I went blue, and then it's like. I'm just doing a quick Google image search here, trying to find some assets.
Assets, huh?
Found this from fanpop.com. Hi there.
Oh, really?
That's
We're gonna get sued.
I think that's a lemur. I think the person that made this doesn't have a lot of like legal power.
I think that looks like King Julian. He was a lemur from the Madagascar cartoons, which I know because I have kids.
Really? Oh, okay. I don't. I've never seen that movie. I don't get to enjoy the joys of children. Oh, well, this is an animated GIF.
I got this best dad ever mug.
Oh, sweet. That's something I never have. I have a Star Trek mug. Star Trek: The Next
That's
Generation.
so much cooler than mine. I just have pictures of my kids on it. Hi there, friend. Oh, baller. Yes, let's go this direction. All
Cute.
of this. Pull it out. Cute. We'll label that as cute.
Just gotta get some like minions art in there, and we've got like a Facebook strategy.
Oh, we could hit Facebook hard. So we could do like a Facebook version of our own website. And I feel like it's like a lot of like conspiracy theories and like hate rhetoric happening.
A lot of
We
a
should
lot
do
of good
like a Facebook
conspiracies.
optimized version of our site.
Yeah.
We should do like a Facebook version of the site. So first off, I mean, this logo is very, I mean, frankly, it's very liberal. You know, it's very sort of artistic and out there. We're gonna ditch that. We want to go like more Web 2.0, I think. So let's try and design a logo in Figma. Hi there.
You're right, it was King Julian.
Our slab font's still cool.
Yep. No.
Yeah, it was totally King Julian. Who is voiced by? Who's King Julian voiced by? Why do I care? I need to know these things so I can point it out to my partner while we're watching the movie with the kids again. Danny Jacobs. Anyway, I'm up on the kids' movies. So let's do something a little more. Are you there? Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
God damn it.
Ha ha ha.
What are all the good fonts?
Museo slab? Is that a word that exists in real life?
Yeah, Museo's good.
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not a font. I know what I like. I'm not a typographer, but I know what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a typographist. I'm not a fontologist.
Fontologist is probably the way to go because it is the sweet science. A lot of people say the sweet science is boxing, but it's not. It's typography.
Yeah, no, boxing's not sweet. It's photography. Let's really get in on Nick here.
Yeah, I'm just popping some stuff together. I want to do something that's a little more geared toward the Facebook audience for our product.
Oh yeah.
So
oh man.
I want to start with
genius.
I want to start with sort of like this, you know, sort of more professional looking title font. We'll get a logo in there. We'll check out Fiverr, but I want to hit them right away with like, look, you're being manipulated by the government. We know how. Sign up to find out more.
Man, that is genius. That is exactly the kind of that's perfect for the Facebook audience. I was really excited for you to tell me how we were being manipulated by the government, but now I cannot wait to sign up to find out more.
Right.
That's such a great strategy.
So maybe we should be looking at least in terms of the Facebook audience. I'm just talking about the Facebook audience. Maybe we instead of like a podcast or a YouTube show, maybe we need to be looking at more of like an email newsletter.
You might be right.
Round corners in this. Can I round corners in this wacky?
You can. How do you do it though? No, it's there. It's the weird little curvy thing that says 0.
Oh, I see it.
Called corner radius. You can turn a you can turn a rectangle into a circle, an ellipse, with the corner radius. Does that blow your mind, Nick?
Drives me nuts when people say ellipsis.
Ellipsis is those 3 dots. The dot, dot, isn't it? Which I never say because I feel like a snob.
No, you just say dot, dot, dot.
Yeah, just put dot, dot, dot. You mean ellipsis? It's like, God damn it. It's like, I actually did know that, and I just didn't say it because I didn't want to sound like a snobby jerk. And now I just got showed up. Oh crap. No one will ever believe me that I know terminology again.
I don't know any terminology. I've sort of based my career around that. People say ampersand. I'm like, amper who?
Yeah, Amber what? Amber Sand?
Amber
No, it's Amber
Amber
Heard.
Sands.
She's Johnny Depp's wife or something like that.
She trends on Twitter every day.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on between those two all the time. I've never clicked
All
in
the
to see
time.
what though.
It's certainly media worthy.
Yeah, they must
No,
be.
I'm not really like a Johnny Amber kind of guy. I'm more like a Meghan Harry kind of dude.
Oh, the
I
royal
think.
family?
Well, I don't know if they're so royal anymore.
Oh, they unroyaled, right. They detached. I think they got a pretty sweet severance package though. I don't think they do
Yeah,
it
they were like,
for nothing.
we're gonna go spend all the money.
Yeah, we're no, like yeah,
We
you
have a lot, and instead of working, I just feel like we could, probably just spend all the money
yeah, we'll
like in
still
other
have access. We
places.
still have the PIN number for the debit card. Like, come on, mom.
Debit
It just
card.
we're just gonna do our thing. Fuck off.
Yeah, we're all good.
It's not cool to be royalty anymore.
We still have the pin to the debit card.
I think I said PIN number too, which is a pet peeve of mine because the N in PIN stands for number.
Oh, really?
I don't. Yeah, who cares?
But wait, it says PIN like on official bank documentation. It says PIN number.
Does
They
it?
should have called it a PI number.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally. It says like remember your PIN.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a shot in the dark here, but I wanted to sort of do like a corporate logo that would get us maybe a little bit closer to the Facebook audience.
I mean, we can spin this off. And this is our Facebook.
Well,
this is the brand we use on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, we can obviously detect traffic coming from Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Show them a dynamic thing.
Yes. Okay. I feel like that's going to work much better. Now I feel like we need like a satirical sort of newspaper cartoon that bags on people for wearing masks.
Yeah, or something about how like the snow in Texas doesn't melt.
Oh, it doesn't melt right because of the
it's
wind towers.
Yeah, because Bill Gates put it there to advance the agenda of global warming, climate change.
Right. Well, they're trying to control everybody, right?
Well, yeah,
Which I was thinking of today. Like, I walked into the liquor store today with a ball cap and sunglasses and a mask on, and I thought, like, they're trying to control me by being completely anonymous and not appearing with my own appearance in public. They're totally trying to control me.
They're trying to control you. They're trying to brainwash you. They're trying to get you to do exactly the things that suit their agenda and not yours.
I wish for once they would just come out and tell us what one of these dang agendas is. What if it's not even like an agenda is in a plan? It could just be like an agenda. Like, remember you used to get them on the first day of school?
Yeah, the syllabus. It's like, yeah, here's your agenda.
And it like, yeah, you got your agenda and you could plan out your days and you got some helpful tips like on, student helplines and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the school counselor. That was for university for me. My high school didn't have a counselor or anything like that.
All right. I mean, I feel like we got Facebook version popping.
How do we like scam? How do we scam money out of these Facebook people? Maybe we can't.
Ask for donations.
Yes, that actually. I'm gonna try and. Can I edit this text? No, I can't. I'm trying
I
to.
might have it selected.
There. I'm
I'm just
getting.
getting.
I'm
I'm grabbing an asset.
okay. I'm gonna. I'm tying in the hi there to the theme of what we're going. I'm gonna bridge our brand with this approach. Yeah, help us fight the good fight.
We're getting there. This is good stuff.
Why can't I click into that? Oh, maybe because I don't have Museo Sans. That's why.
But we'd probably get in a lot of trouble. But say we faked something like this, how much trouble do you think we'd get in? If we took money.
None. You don't get in trouble for anything, is what I've learned over the past year. You can do anything you want.
Yes. Wake up to the truth. Wake up to the truth, GIF. Let's see what we got.
So, like, wake up to the truth and say hi there. Right? See where I'm going with this? Tying it, bringing it all home.
Okay, it's about saying hi there to the tyranny, the secret tyranny.
Really just what's the word? Acknowledge it. Wake up and just say, "Hi there. Hello. I can see your tyranny."
Hi
And,
there. I see your tyranny.
I see you, what you're doing to me, government.
Hi.
This is you know, I know that that's got
Right?
like an ancient aliens, kind of ancient Egypt kind of feel to it.
Dude, we're so on the same page. I really want to. I think when we're talking about art direction for Facebook sort of conspiracy laden bullshit, you really want to invoke images of like ancient Egypt, Mayan.
Yeah, Mayan, any kind of religious, like this has got like a religious text feel to it, which feels very authoritative. And like, you know, these things, all these religious texts came out before, you know, before all this insanity happened. Like before we were trying to like all manipulate each other. Like this is kind of when the real truth just existed. And there wasn't any kind of attempts to cover anything up.
I'm so sick of all the attempts to cover things up.
Me too. And the ancient
up and the allegations of attempts to cover things up.
And the ancient Egyptians knew that it was important to document everything in hieroglyphics. And that's basically why we have the font papyrus. Because it looks like it was written on old paper.
Well, papyrus paper. So I've been doing my own sort of research in this. I know we haven't talked about it up until now, but I've been doing my own kind of research, and I get these cool pictures of sort of like Mayan cities that I think we could maybe replace the background with.
Back before there was like this complex government conspiracy, you know, when things were simple and the truth was known by all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I think that's the right vibe.
I personally, I'm so glad that this is sort of turned into a truth cast. So we'll send that to back. We got ancient Mayan civilizations sort of in there. Oh, okay. You know what? Here's what I'm doing wrong. I got the wrong logo. This is bad branding. I think we should use like the Eye of Ra.
It kind of looked like
It is the Eye of Horus.
I mean, that one kind of looked like it looked official and trustworthy. But I
I
want to see. I'm
know, but that's sort of a
excited to see where you're
cultural
going with this.
symbol. I don't want to put, I don't know. I know Facebook's terrible, but I don't know if these are like cultural symbols. I see lots of people have tattoos of it, so that's pretty cool. They definitely know the truth.
I mean, if you're going to make a permanent decision like that, no one gets a tattoo of anything that they haven't really thought through extensively and know that it only means the thing that they mean and it can never be misinterpreted or translated in any kind of
Mm-hmm.
different way. So, I think if people have tattoos of it, that's literally means it's carved in stone what it's about. So we can go with it. That's what I'm saying.
And in conclusion,
What happens when you click this submit button? We're gonna have like
uh, well,
just
so that's an important point. I mean, with this, with a kind of direction like this, we're gonna sort of have to abandon the idea of a YouTube show altogether. And I know that's disappointing. Um, but I'm obviously this is like much more effective.
yeah, I kind of feel like we might.
Obviously, this is a much more interesting web presence.
I feel like what we're doing might not be accepted everywhere. We might not get
But
the
that's
support of all the online services that we might want to.
no, I don't think Squarespace is going to sponsor this particular program that we're working on. But that's okay because they, you know, we're past this. We have this website up there here for the Hi There show. We're gonna web design or whatever. It's stupid, but now we're working on something that's real, and it's a Facebook-driven sort of conspiracy campaign aimed at getting people to, I guess, read our e-newsletter.
The e-newsletter is key. Yeah, that's where we're gonna get our prime engagement from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just trying to kind of annotate where this is all coming from here.
I'm gonna make the submit button fire engine red because it is a functional element, and as we know, buttons need to be as large and loud as possible, or people will never ever find them ever.
I agree.
It's like your logo. If it's not as big as humanly possible,
And it's
no one's gonna click it.
it's not even that I need to agree. It's like that's what all the facts back you up, Nick. So this is how it's gonna work.
What's that arrow? Oh, pay friend. Bank
Yeah, it's just like, so what happens when someone clicks that? It goes to our pay friend account, bank account, and then.
So should this maybe not be a submit box? Should this be a pay friend login?
Oh, maybe. Or it should say continue, and we'll string you along for the ride. And once you're in our checkout process, you're not going to want to leave.
Oh, it's a funnel approach, right?
Yeah, that's a funnel.
We're taking sales. This is the sales funnel. It's all going to sort of get down into this money part.
Yeah, funnels. We funnel people in, and they pay us. It goes into our bank account. We have lots of money, and that's it. And then solved.
Okay. I did a reset password form the other day. And you would think that kind of thing is simple, or maybe a view or two, and my goodness, it's not. You really would, but it's
what
not.
What do they do?
It's like,
how do they
a dozen
frig that up? How do they frig it up?
How do you frig that? Do you confirm your password? Do you confirm your email? Is there any reason for asking people to do that in the first place?
The confirm password thing I try to get away from because it's trendy to not do it.
It's one of those things like when you get in a car, it tells you, a light comes on and it tells you to put your seatbelt in. The car company doesn't fucking care if you put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, they don't care. They want you to be happy. If you fucking hate seatbelts, then don't put it on. Like, For real, bro.
Totally. If you see yourself in a statistically more likely to be involved in a DUI Dodge Ram and you don't want to wear your seatbelt, that's up to you, friend. You paid $65,000 for this heaping piece of metal junk.
Truer words have never been spoken.
So when I ask users to confirm their password, I'm like, what am I, your password babysitter? Just don't type it wrong.
Yeah, how many times do you need me to confirm this friggin' password? 7 or 8?
Just
Why
type
don't
in
you
your
believe
dad's
me?
name
Why do you,
with the year that you were born.
I'm insulted that you don't think that I remember my password the first time. All right,
We
this
got a
is
forgot
looking...
password button down here. This is pretty, I mean, this is going
actually...
to do way better on Facebook.
This is, if it's not my favorite, it's my second favorite. Because we started out, well, we started with nothing, and then we kind of got to this, you know, branded, nice kind of like blue background,
Sort of
screen that you
boring,
see here.
very
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
just,
typical and not interesting website. It's
there's nothing
fine.
new.
It's, you know,
It's
no.
basically like the stuff from my YouTube channel just repeated over here in one video. Our YouTube channel's got all our videos, so I don't know. Then we got to this, which is where, you know, there's
This is
incremental...
my personal sort of
there's
artistic. This is a more creative take, I think, on this. Just to preface what you're gonna say.
Mhm.
Um, I was looking at that last design and I thought, shit, that's so bad and ugly.
How can I
And so I came over
depart?
here and started working on this.
Yeah, how can you
Yes.
depart from this like completely?
Hmm.
Because there's incremental changes which are nice, but if you really want to like revolutionize what you're doing, you've got to like take a complete departure and try something completely new, which you've done here, which I
Hmm.
think this is fantastic.
You
And
gotta you gotta do it.
I'm still kind of torn. I can't choose a winner at this point yet.
Well,
Um,
in terms of like an official brand for the show, I'm gonna have to insist that we go more like the flame text. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this right out of here. I mean, we're busy. We got lots to do. So let's just go ahead and get rid of that logo. Get the new one in there. Hello, new hi there brand. We worked hard on that. Many layers of approval. Cool. Okay,
yep.
that's aside. Go back to what you were saying.
Nice. No, that's good. It looks like both of our cursors are dragging this around. I love it.
That's cool. It's sort of
And
like
then we
the
got
push and
here,
pull.
you know, and then we said, look, let's take a step back. Let's take more than a step back. Let's take a drive back really far and rethink what we're doing here completely. And this is kind of where we, you know, Facebook is the hottest social media platform on the internet. It's got 11 billion members. And you know, they're people that are like breaking outside of the box. They're kind of breaking out, they're breaking outside of your standard conformity and really realizing what's going on in the world and how nothing is, you know, true.
Well, I would go
Vaccines and
further than
COVID aren't
that. If
real.
they're also sort of forming really interesting opinions about it. So we did want to do a layout that sort of catered to the Facebook audience. We're gonna A/B test it, of course. You know, sales funnel. We know where they're coming from.
Yeah, we're not
So
idiots here.
we're gonna
We're not artists. We're
no, we're not just a bunch
strategists.
of goofy goofball designer fellas. Um, so yeah, this will be targeted at the Facebook audience. I could see doing one specific for maybe like something that is gonna hook people into Pinterest. Like, how can we make a show that's highly or a website for a show that's highly shareable on Pinterest?
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
who knows?
awesome visuals like this is table, you know,
Yep.
ground zero of how we
High,
start with
yeah.
there.
High bar visual quality, I think, is going to be important.
And like this like and share, like is a very like standout element to me. And
I made that by myself right now.
if you don't like, imagine not clicking that. Like,
Oh my God! Imagine being part of the Facebook network and not clicking that.
holy,
It's the
I can't.
we're saying like, yes.
No, it's an
No.
instant win.
So that's right. In all seriousness, though, outside of this shtick that we're doing, can we launch this on Facebook somehow and not get in trouble? If we launch this on Facebook, how much trouble will we get in?
You know what? I'm going to take it a step back and say, how do we launch this on Facebook? Like a
There's
Facebook
something about an
page?
API. I think, I don't know. You're gonna go ahead. You're gonna go ahead and connect to that API.
Let's connect to the API, target our demographics.
All right,
And
that was a fun one. I think we've got a designed site. In all seriousness, we do actually have a designed website here that we can use now, and that's pretty cool.
We do.
That'll be going up at sayhithere.ca. You will never see this because we will never link to it, probably, but it will be out there. I would say, you know what? Look, if you're a fan of the show, go out and find this website and have a look at it, and then you're kind of like on the Insiders Club or whatever.
That's it. The Insiders Club. There's going to be secrets. There's going to be secrets on the site. So look into how you find them. You know, we know that you can do it. How will you know when we've launched our site? Well, we'll probably tweet it, and you can follow us on Twitter at HiThereTweets.
You should also check us out. You can check me out, my artwork, all my design work, everything. I am /Nick Brunt on Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Ian, where can they find you?
I am Porcelain Duck, and your first challenge is spelling porcelain.
It's porcelain.
Porcelain
Fun
Duck.
tip.
Find me on Twitter. I tweet sometimes, and it might even be useful about design stuff.
Could be the tweet for you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. This was a fun first impromptu Saturday. Sorry for all the technical hiccups, but this is the journey we're all on together. And at the end, we'll look back and know that we grew.
We're working it out so that we can be better for you, folks.
Hold on. What about this one? Working it out so we can work you out.
Ooh, I like it.
That's like a company tagline.
That is a tagline.
All right.
How much? All right, everyone.
$1,500. Thanks so much, everyone.
Our first episode of Hi There After Hours. A little Saturday night impromptu session on our website. 3 great designs. What will we go with? Tune in next time to find out. All right.
Am I saying goodbye? Or are we off?
No, it's got the background music is playing. I feel like
okay, well, that's pretty good. No, that's chill and cool.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Good night.
We'll see you
Follow
Thursday.
us, subscribe, smash that like button, and check out our channel. And we'll see you next Thursday live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic. Good night.